Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's episode, we discuss my top 20 Marvel Legends once of 2022. So in my list, there will be some guesses, some predictions. The first 15 characters that I will mention are in no particular order, but once we get to that number 5, those are absolutely my top 5 once of characters in Marvel Legend form. Since Hasbro was doing a fan fest for February, I felt that now was fitting to go ahead and do this video. Also, this is my 8th time reshooting, so I'm just going to go ahead and move forward. If there are errors, you're just going to have to live with it. So without further ado, number 20 on my list is Silverman from Spider-Man the Animated Series. Many years ago, I think we got a Silverman head that was attached to a car. Let's just go ahead and give us a proper Silverman in his suit, not the robotic one, just a regular suit old man version. For number 19 on my list, Mojo. Last year, Hasbro gave us MODOK. I think this is the year for Mojo. Go ahead and do it as a deluxe figure in that $50 price range. The only thing, I don't think that Hasbro is going to match the paint apps that Toy Biz gave us. Number 18 on my list is Man Spider. I am not talking about that dreadful Marvel Legends 6-armed spider that Hasbro gave us. I am talking about the humanoid spider busting out of the suit. Oh yeah, also Spider-Man animated series. Number 17, Classic Abomination. So we had a few versions of Abomination. One was way too small. We received a fairly good version. However, it was designed off of that Marvel game, so having a classic one to go with the many versions of Hulks that we currently have. Number 16, Annihilus. We need more characters to be able to pair with, particularly the Incredible Hulk, but he could also fit in with Fantastic Four. I think Annihilus has also tangled with the Avengers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Number 15, a deluxe Sabretooth from the X-Men animated series. So we have a new Sabretooth that's coming based off his original version. I do not want a skinny Sabretooth. I want a huge Sabretooth, possibly using the Colossus body. One of those big bodies that they have to give us something that's reminiscent of the animated series. Number 14 is A-Bomb. With all of the versions of the Hulk that we have, let's go ahead and spread to the Hulk family. Give us an A-Bomb. Number 13 follows my number 14 pick. Would love to have a classic She-Hulk. We have a few versions of She-Hulk. They gave us the one in gray, which is like a sucker I purchased. I did not purchase the repainted green version. I feel like now I'm going to go ahead and wait to see if we get a classic version. I would also be open to She-Hulk in her Fantastic Four costume. Number 12, guess I gotta think for Spider-Man. Baghead Spider-Man. The one in his Fantastic Four suit. Don't know what it is about that. It's pretty silly, but I want this in action figure form. I actually have the Marvel Universe version many years ago that was selling for a substantial amount. Number 11 is Cable from the X-Men animated series. Pretty sure Hasbro will simply repaint the Cable that we had a few years ago, but I would prefer Cable to be on a much bigger bulk, as I felt Cable was too small and Warpath was too small. Number 10, Tombstone from Spider-Man the Animated Series. I know we had a Tombstone not too long ago, but the one that I really remember, the one that I really want, is the one from the animated cartoon. Number 9, Alistair Smite from what else? Spider-Man the Animated Series. I'm hoping that this being the 60th year or 60th anniversary of Spider-Man, we do receive a lot of figures, and Alistair Smite has been missing. I'm really hoping that we get a deluxe version of Alistair Smite, maybe coming with his wheelchair, maybe coming with some of the machinery that he had. I have an idea how Alistair Smite may come. We'll discuss that in another video. Number 8, from the Brotherhood, Avalanche. It is time that we get characters from the Brotherhood, and Avalanche is one that we're missing. Number 7, sticking with the Brotherhood, the Blob. We have one from Toy Biz. It has been several years, over 10 years, I'm going to say, that we have not received a Blob. It is time. Go ahead and do it as a Build-A-Figure. Just make sure that the characters that we're getting are X-Men based. None of that movie stuff. Number 6, and this was so close to being in my top 5, and it is Mandarin. So far, I can't stand what they did to the Mandarin in the Iron Man movie and the Shang-Chi movie. Not happy with the story that MCU has put together for the Mandarin. So I would like to erase what the MCU has done and get the classic version of Mandarin, or the Mandarin from the Iron Man animated series. So now I'm going to number 5 on my list. It has to be Elandra from the Shi'ar Empire. Yes, I know we received a head sculpt before. Some people were using that on their Silver Sable. Silver Sable nearly made my list. But we need a proper Elandra so that we can just start off with building out the Shi'ar Empire or the Starjammers. It's a lot of characters that we need in that. Number 4 on my list is Firelord. With Galactus steadily approaching this year, we need to have some of his main minions. And for me, Firelord was absolutely one of the more important minions of Galactus. Number 3 follows number 2, and that's Airwalker. Pretty much for the same thing that I said about Firelord, excuse me. Number 2 on my list is Chameleon from Spider-Man the Animated Series. We received the Chameleon many years back, had this head sculpt with a line down it, and he was in a suit. Throw that out. It is time that we get a more classic version. My particular preference is of the Spider-Man animated series. And for the number 1 on my list, it is Morph from the X-Men animated series. Yeah, I know that he wasn't a part of the comics. He was mainly made for that cartoon. But if you were a fan of that cartoon, Morph was such an integral piece. And now that we have so many characters for that X-Men animated series, to think that we still haven't gotten a Morph as of yet is a bit disappointing. So here is my list. Let me know what you think. Are you looking for some of these same characters? Who did I forget to add on? Who would you take away? Who would you replace? As always, thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop, and I hope to see you on the next episode.